Hi everybody, this is Gladys right here, and today I'm going to break it down for you the good posture, how we should be alignment, what is actually a good posture. Yes, in the chair yoga with me. So let's go and join me. We're going to start sitting. Of course, always I like to start sitting in the edge of the chair, palms on top of the knees, and find your beautiful straight posture. We soften, we take a deep inhalation just for a moment to arrive. Inhaling to the nose. Exhale, we let go the tension. We find the center, just a moment here. We're going to drop any expectations and we're going to find and wake up that curiosity. Right? One more time, deep inhalation in. Exhale, we sigh it out. And once again, inhale. And exhaling, we sigh it out. All right, so everybody, I would like everybody to have a beautiful straight line on the spine. So for that, we're going to do a little exercise today. We're going to break it down. You're going to picture in your mind that you're going to have three parts on the body. We have our lower body, we have our middle part, and we have our upper body. Right? There you go. We're going to start nice and easy with the lower part of the body. We call it this pelvic tilt. All right? We find the activation of the gluteus. I want you really squeeze the gluteus. Activation of the gluteus, squeeze the gluteus. And the moment that you start squeezing the gluteus, that pelvic will like to go towards the front. So you're going to find as well a contraction in that, what do we call it? The pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is like you want to go to the bathroom so badly. Well, hold it. Don't go. So we squeeze all these muscles right there. We go a little more deep. And then exhale, you're going to pass the way towards the front. So you're going to find your arch in that lower back. In yoga, we always try to do 70%, not 100%. We keep moving. Why we do that? Because if we do the 100%, it means like you really are pushing too much and you are not even breathing. But we find our breath, and it's like we call it this like a release, active release technique, because you are active, but in the same time we are releasing that lower back, but in the same time activating muscles, right? So we activate the gluteus, pelvic floor coming in, squeezing that lower abdominals, and then we actually go, the idea to as well is to find it a little bit as well as releasing of the psoas iliacus muscles to as well that all the way in. So we do a little bit of this one. Okay, when you are home, you can pause, and if you feel like I really need to do a couple of these one, be my guest, do as many as you want. But just a little bit of activation. Inhale again and exhale, 70%, nice and easy, you release it. So this is your lower part. You find that mobility. And then you know that you can be here. I call this that everybody's collapsing with the beautiful posture that everybody have every day. This is sarcastic, of course, because nobody has a good posture. Everybody's collapsing all the time. So you're sitting actually in the sacrum, and that lower back is not good at all. So you know that you can be here. You know as well that you can be arching. Sometimes people they like to be like this, belly out, and they arch in the back, which is not good because you compress the vertebrae. You are compressing that lower back vertebrae. And of course, what's happening in the middle of the spine, what is running through the spine? The nerves. Yes, the nerves. So what's happening with the nerve? When they're compressing, ow, ow, ow. It's a lot of pain, right? So you know that you can be arching, you can be collapsing, and then I want you to find that, what I call it, that on top of the sit bones, that middle line, when your spine is nice and protected right there. Yes? So find your sit bones, beautiful posture right there. That's it. Now, let's go for the upper body, because we do this mobility and the upper body has that mobility as well. For that, we're going to bring your hands towards the side. Hands needs to be when I can see them with the corner of my eyes. This is too much. This is a stretching, and this is not safe. This is hyperextension of the muscles and the tendons. So you want to keep it where I can see them. In the front, I can see them with the corner of my eyes, right? Right there. That's safe for your shoulders. So we bring your elbows next to you, and we're going to find an stretch, and we're going to find an arch position. So from the rib cage, you imagine that little finger to as well coming all the way to the back, and that rib cage is going to start opening. Shoulder blades are going to get together as much as they can and down towards your butt, and you find that arching in my upper body, and chin's up towards the sky. As you say, my chin is up and tight, nice and easy. I am not collapsing my neck, meaning like this. Don't collapse, protect that cervical. So keep it nice and tall, shoulders away from that ears. Nice and protecting that cervical is not compressing, it's lengthening. Arms towards the back, you find that opening from the chest, shoulders rotation, inhale, heart opening. And exhale, we do the opposite, internal rotation. So you bring it towards yourself, chin down towards your chest, rotating of the palm, and you see the shoulders, how they rotate as well, inside. Now, you do a couple of these movements at your own time, at your own rhythm. Inhalations and exhalation. Again, no expecting, but with curiosity. I always find that there is, of course, one side different than the other ones. So I'm always, my right line, in my case, my right side is more stretching because I always am using it more. So the ligaments, they go a little bit more open. So I need to be really mindful then, because when I move my rotation, this one goes more high, but I want to keep it nice and tall, nice and center. So I don't know, maybe this is very good to keep rotating your shoulders, especially with you start finding that frozen shoulders. You start finding, you don't even have to have frozen shoulders, because what? Same thing. You know that everybody is in here all the time. So if you see this position, everybody has it all the time. Yes or no? Again, we're going back to the posture. Computers, phones, I'm just even eating. Eating, everything that you do is like this. So these shoulders go completely in that inside rotation, which is completely closing all your chest, all your lungs. Strengthening, no, it's going to be tight, and in the back it's going to be weak, that muscles. So you know that you can be here. You know as well that you can be in the arching position. Then we do the same thing with that lower back. We're trying to be on the middle. There you go. In the middle. Shoulders not inside rotation, but shoulders nice and easy. On the middle, in place right there. There you go. Now, so we have it lower, upper. Now we go for the middle. For the middle, I really like to start. I really feel it in all these years that I have teaching and dancing and everything and learning. I do feel that connection started with the breath. I really like that you start finding your breath. That awaken up starting with the breath. When I am inhaling, imagine that yourself, this is the picture that all the teachers, we try to say this to the students. When you inhale, you become like a balloon. So what's happened when you put air into balloon, you expand, right? So the same thing, I know that we do like this, and we skip it in, it should be the other way around. So when you inhale, you soften your belly. There you go. And when you exhale, there is coming the fire, and there is coming the activation in every single muscle. Exhale, squeeze everything right there. Imagine you have a corset. Inhale, you soften in your belly. And exhale, activate everything. Say good morning to every muscle right there. So you can start inhale and exhaling. You can start nice and easy. Inhale, exhale for the nose, maybe. But it's easier for you. a couple of these one. And then we call it a little bit of we call it fire breath. You go a little bit more snapping, right? Inhale, small movement, not too big, small movement. Inhale, you release, and exhale. It's a little bit contraction there, again, coming from that pelvic floor in every muscle, which is not easy to do. It's not easy. Mind and muscle connection is not easy. You really need to do a couple of times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now you can keep your eyes closed and really go within and imagine all these muscles contract. Inhale, 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 inhale. You can even put a little more spicy and speed it up. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Keep your back straight. Look at me. It's only my belly. It is not my shoulders. Nothing is happening in my shoulders. Shoulders don't breathe. So I know we breathe in here. That's why I'm teaching you breathe in with that belly. And then you can do a couple of these. And keep it going for 5, 6, 7, 8. Now squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in, and relax. Now, this is what I want you picture. And this part of the body, if you see the anatomy, bones are the structure of the body, right? It's the more harder thing because the structure. How many bones do we have in the middle of that body? How many bones do we have in here? If you see the bones, there's only that little vertebrae in the back. Imagine that you are not helping that body because you collapse every day in a bad posture. That little vertebrae, everything, you don't have any structure right there. It's a lot of weight. That's why it's so important, the good posture. So that's why I'm breaking out very nice and easier for you. You need to find that core activation when you're sitting, when you're standing up, when you are working out, whatever you do in life, when you are cooking, when you are cleaning, whatever you're doing in life. It's not the job, whatever it is. It's not what I do in life, it's how I do it. So with that mindfulness, I know, now you know, that we can find that activation with the breath, right? So there is an activation right there. So do you want to be collapsing or no? Wait a second, let me activate it. And then you keep breathing, but then you find a little bit of activation. And that's it. So ears on top of the shoulders. Make sure the ears on top of the shoulder by doing that chin tuck as well. Sometimes people have that back right there. They call it that the big ball here. It's a lot of people has it, especially if you work a lot of computer. But then you call it that chin tuck. So make sure that your chin is in the back, nice and good. You can even do a couple of these to make sure that it's actually in the back. Ears on top of the shoulders, shoulders on top of the hips, and that is your good posture. And voila. So this is, I know it's not easier because then you're going to be like this, and you're going to be like that, and you're going to be like this, blah, blah. But making sure that you have a straight back. Yes? We take that deep inhalation in, find a nice stretching. And exhale, release everything. This is what I wanted to explain it today, how we can start finding that movement. Find your movement, do your repetitions. When you find a little bit lost and you want to activate it, I do this almost every day with my clients because everything is in the alignment, is the basic, is the technique, is how the movement, how the work, how you should, the body works. So I wanted to explain it to you nice and easy so you can make sure that you need to work in the 3 areas. Yes, because some people, yeah, you're good there, but maybe you're like this. Or maybe you have a straight back, but then you're like this. Trying to have everything together as a whole, from that pelvic floor, from that diaphragm, that's completely your core, softening your shoulders, There you go. And then you don't have to be like this, because we don't want that heavy weight of the world. So let it go. Let it go. Which is going to be tired for you, because you never are like this. And it's going to be like a, oh my God. And everybody for 3 seconds, they're going to be like a, hi, yes, how you do it? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah? Because it's easier, because it's resting. So in the moment, let me tell you something. In the moment that you're in a good posture, your body is working out, because this core needs to be active to hold you that good posture. So I'm not asking you to go to the gym and kill yourself with weights or something. I'm just asking you to have a good posture. Yes? All right, that will be all for today. Yes, I think that was pretty easy. Make sure that you do it. Thank you so much for watching, and with all my love, namaste lovers. Bye-bye.